Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into Season 4, Episode 9, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Written by Sarah Gamble, according to the transcript.
Ah.
My nemesis slash hero.
Depending on what day it is.
Depending on what day it is and what she's done. Yeah.
And which way the wind's blowing.
It's like, Sarah, should you be paying for my therapy or are we besties braiding our hair? Who can say until the end of the episode?
Both, your love-hate relationship.
It truly is. Like, I love her so much, and sometimes I'm like, no, you take those words out of Dean's mouth right now. Thank you, please.
I like the name of this episode because I am like a 90s kid. Well, I was born at the end of the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s and I loved all the like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all those kinds of films. So I appreciate the name. Oh, actually, also, side note or tangent, I watched the new version of I Know What You Did Last Summer recently and I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed.
Yeah. I've heard mixed reviews, but most of what I've heard is people be like, nah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, and I can't even really put my finger on what it was either.
Well, I was going to say, I think I maybe have the answer. I haven't seen it, to be fair, full disclosure, but from what I've heard from friends who have seen it and the breakdowns that I've heard, it sounds to me like they were aiming to do what Scream did do successfully, but what a lot of other horror franchises have really struggled to do, which is the requel or like freshening it up for a new generation. Now, the only people that I know who actually really enjoyed this film are babies. Okay.
Yeah.
They were not alive when the original came out and they love the remake because they have no experience. They've never seen the original. This is a completely new movie to them. And so they're enjoying it. Whereas I think those of us who grew up in the golden age of cinema of the 90s, where there were so many incredible hit and cult films, like we were really lucky with the things that were being made. We're not really getting that now. And so like we know the sour grapes because we know what we're missing out on. These cute little babies honestly have nothing to compare this to, so they don't know what they're missing.
But so that's for probably a good thing. That's good for them. I like that for them actually.
Yeah,
I think that's
I'm
nice
happy for
because
them.
They've then got a film like we had when we were younger. But as a millennial watching it, I was like, no. And it still had like it has some of the actors that were in the original in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like the ending either, which I can't talk about because you haven't seen it. But I didn't like the ending. I thought it was stupid. And they were like, it was the Gen Z of it all, actually.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'm just too old to watch it because it was like how they were talking to each other and stuff. I'm like, this just sounds silly to me. But I'm glad that the Gen Z have something to watch. But the Scream reboot is really good.
And so good.
So was Final Destination. The new Final Destination film I actually really liked.
I heard such great things about that one. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list. Like I've heard so many good things. I am so on board, you guys.
They did it successfully as well because it was the same thing, like a recall. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, a recall, yeah.
Where it's happening to a new generation of people.
Yeah.
And they actually did it really well. I think the new Final Destination, I don't even know what number it is better than 25. Some of the older ones. Yeah.
Oh, I'm super psyched for that. I'm really psyched for that. I'm going to add it to my calendar. Actually, speaking of old movies, but good movies, I am a big fan of classic Hitchcock, and Nick had never seen.
Oh, me too.
See, same. It's because we have good taste. Nick had never seen Rear Window. Okay.
Oh my god, that's my favorite.
It's such a great film. It gives me goosebumps to think about it. Like No Word of a Lie, I actually have goosebumps. I love
Rear Window.
Yeah, so he is obsessed with photography and travel and filmmaking. It's like what he does for a living. And obviously, like, this character is perfect for him. Okay? Yeah. Perfect. Flawless. This man is like so much Nick. And it's just like, so I actually had him sit down and watch it, and in his head, he thought he wasn't going to like it because he doesn't tend to appreciate older films, barring like the original Halloween and stuff like that. And so there are some movies from like the 70s he likes, but if you take him back to the 50s, he's usually like, oh yeah, he doesn't get it. But he loved Rear Window. because it
Yay.
is amazing. It's such a good psychological thriller. It lulls you in a little bit in that, like, it kind of tricks you into the thinking that it's a much lighter hearted movie than it actually is in the beginning. But it's also so beautiful to watch. Like he was saying, the framing of it, considering that there's really only like 2 sets in this whole film.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just
The
get like just
framing,
him looking out a window.
yeah, the framing of every single shot and the detail that they go to for the way that it's filmed to make it as scary as it is so good and so high quality. So I feel like he took some notes out of it that he can use
Cool.
maybe at work, which is really sick. But like, I love that. I think if you haven't seen Rear Window, go and do yourself a favor and
Yeah.
rent that movie. You can rent it for so cheap on like YouTube. I think we had it for free on Sky. But like,
Huh.
check your provider, see if they have it for free. It's a cult hit film, so a lot of places do have it streaming for free. And if not, like, pay a couple of pounds to watch it from
Yeah.
like YouTube or wherever. And you can thank me later, honestly, because that movie is classic for a reason.
Yeah, that's my favourite Hitchcock film.
Mm,
I do love that one.
I really love it. It probably is my favorite Hitchcock, actually.
I'm glad Nick liked it. That's good.
Yeah, that made me so happy. I was like, honestly, you will appreciate this one. And he was like, oh. And then he was like, this movie is amazing. And I was like, right?
Yeah, love it.
So we've had a nice little cinematic preamble.
Yeah, nice.
Rambly preambly.
Yeah, I might be a tiny bit low energy today, maybe because I just got back from a holiday and I'm really tired.
Tell them where you were.
I went to Malta.
She's just casual. I just might be a little bit. She sent me some really cool holiday photos, you guys. She was in paradise. I'm thrilled
really
to
good.
have her back.
But yeah, I'm tired. I got back yesterday, last night, and I'm tired. But yeah, I'll probably be fine when we actually get started.
We'll allow it, Laura. We'll allow it. Everyone's entitled to a holiday.
Yeah, so I thought that what was interesting about this episode was that the most interesting part was finding out what Sam got up to while Dean was in hell, like having that little bit of backstory. That was interesting. So like,
it felt a little bit like, you know how we were talking about how like in Mystery Spot we wanted more of that moment.
Yeah,
like the grittier Sam. Like it feels a lot like that. Like,
yeah, I didn't like how he was just drunk
it.
the whole time, but that is understandable. But
that scene,
well, no, yeah,
so hot. I'm sorry. That is one of the sexiest things I've ever seen in my life, and we know I'm a Dean girl, but that scene lives rent free in my head forever. What are you talking about? How is he that sexy? It's not allowed.
Yeah, but before that, he was just like going to the Crossroads Demon to try and get a deal again, and he was just like drunk. And I'm like, okay, Sam.
I don't know. I found it. Here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. I think that we're used to seeing Sam being the high functioning one, and when he's on his own, understandably grief overtakes him, and he's no longer high functioning, and he just becomes like violently determined and kind of broody. I didn't see him broody in like a wimpy way, the way that certain characters can annoy me when they do like brooding man and they do it wrong. Ugh, there's nothing worse.
See, the start of it, I feel like he was a little bit like that for me. But then when Ruby starts training him, he was then like hot, determined brooding.
Yeah. There could be it gives us flavors of brooding. I kind of think that's done a little bit on purpose to like, because we know that Kripke and the writers want to sweet talk the fans, the vocal fandom, into enjoying Ruby being on the screen, right? So like I kind of feel like that's a little bit on purpose. Like I think that's a slight manipulation of people's feelings to be like, oh, but I get to see this if she's here, so we'll allow it, you know?
I have a fun fact about the sex scene when we get to it, but I'm gonna save it for then because it's good.
She's teasing us.
Yeah,
that's hot, Laura. Okay, so I really loved seeing sexy, angry, dysfunctional Sam. I also love it. I've said this before, but I love it when Jared gets to use his full potential as an actor, because a lot of the times he's very much like set up to be charming, disarming, sweet, silver-tongued, puppy dog-eyed, swaying cosmic forces like the trickster Sam, right? It's really fucking cool when we get to see darker Sam, because Jared gets to use all of his height and all of his muscle mass and like the subtle threat thing that he can do so well, and like the drop in the tone in his voice, because when he's acting as Sam, he sounds like Jared when Jared's talking. Like he's a little bit more high pitched and stuff, like younger Sam, like Stanford Sam, right? When he's
Yeah.
playing damaged Sam, his voice drops and his eyes shift and he looks more haunted, and like he's really embodying the character in a way that I think is phenomenal. Honestly, like he really is such a talented actor. Like he does these subtle little things that make him look so pained. And like having dated uh people who have gone off to fight in conflicts and stuff, I think that both Jared and Jensen do a really good job of embodying trauma and like PTSD and
Yeah, that's true.
war and stuff. Like they do a really good job of showing us the before and after, because there are literally memes about their faces in the beginning of season 1 versus their faces on the show in like season 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's not just like, they're not just showing us actors aging. Like this is, you start in 2005, you end in X years, it's 15 years. It's not just that. It's like they were actually acting all of these emotions and feeling all of these emotions, and it has physically changed their faces.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're really phenomenal, and I think that Jared's performance in this episode is a standout one for me of all of his performances, which there are many to choose from. This is probably one of my favorites. I think it's very layered and cool.
Yeah. Interesting. As someone who's also dated people of the who have done that.
The persuasion.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. They really do. This is the thing. They really do. And somebody's done this side by side shot of their faces when they were little babies in season 1 versus their faces in like season 10, 15. And you can actually see like the lines around the eyes, the specific, like, I have seen some shit lines that people get, and they're there. And it's just, I don't know, like when I looked at that, it kind of shook me. And they're always talking about how, because they played these characters for so long and because they weren't formally trained, Sam and Dean live in them and are part of them in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that based on what I've seen from things like that. I was talking to Laura before. I was like, I don't have a preamble. Look at me having a preamble. Words, sentences, I have them. Do you want to give us a synopsis?
Yes. So this is season 4, episode 9, I Know What You Did Last Summer. The original air date for this episode was November 13th, 2008. We meet Anna Milton, an escaped psychiatric patient who claims she can hear angels and also seems to have psychic powers. Ruby warns Sam and Dean that the demons are after Anna, and so she must be important, and tells them they should find her first. This leads to a violent showdown in a church where Ruby escapes with Anna and the brothers barely survive. As they lay low at a motel after the attack, Sam reveals what happened while Dean was in hell, how Ruby trained him to use his powers, and how she saved his life. When they all regroup at a cabin later, Castiel and Uriel arrive for Anna, but it's clear they are not there to help her. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's a to be continued. It's part 1 of 2.
It is, yeah. The end of that episode, I was like, uh-oh!
Yeah. So we open at a psychiatric hospital, and a girl, who's Anna, is staring into the distance. A doctor asks her if she knows where she is and why she's there, and she just shrugs. The doctor goes on to say that she was hysterical and it took 4 people to restrain her. Anna explains she was trying to warn everyone about the apocalypse. She also says she knows the doctor thinks she's crazy and she would think she's crazy too, but then explains everything that we know about the apocalypse. So everything about Lillith, the 66 seals, and freeing Lucifer, all of that is what she has been seeing or hearing.
Yeah, when you first watch it, you go, wait a second. Because at first you think, okay, a crazy person. Somebody's going to be a demon or somebody's going to get murdered because it's supernatural. And you're like, oh, she's sweet and pretty. She's probably going to get killed by this doctor. He's probably going to be a demon or something. Like, that's definitely what I was thinking. And then she starts talking about that, and I was like, wait a second, she knows things.
Yeah, she's not crazy.
I was like, oh,
it's all true.
Yeah, she's like a Cassandra type of character.
Who's that? Oh, Dean's girlfriend.
Well, okay, yes, but Cassandra in the Odyssey/Iliad, I can't remember which one she appears in. She's the one who's cursed to know everything, but when she tells people what's happening, they don't believe her, which is the worst curse ever when you think about it.
So I thought you were talking about someone on the show.
Not this time. Not this time. I went Greek.
So then she looks off at nothing as if she's listening to someone saying something to her, and we hear creepy whispers in the background that only she can hear. And the doctor asks what she's doing, and she says nothing, just listening. She says that there are 600 possible seals, and Lillith only has to break 66 of them, and no one knows which ones she's going to break. And that's why it's impossible to stop her.
Way to add that in as lore, by the way, to like increase, like up the ante. Because I bet somebody was like, guys, this could take forever. Like, we have to, get to the points with stuff. We have to up the stakes.
But also, like, I think they should have said there were 666 possible seals.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not just 600, because she has to break 66. Also, like, I know this show goes on for a long time, but I'm assuming this is just like a series arc. So are we really going to see 66 of these happening?
I mean, there's definitely skippy moments. Like, I would say this particular story does go on for a lot longer than the other stories that it's like I guess technically it's kind of a continuation. As much as Azazel's been sort of wrapped, like, the reasoning for everything does stem back to what happened with him and then sort of carry us forward. So
the Lillith one, she lasts a bit longer. Because I suppose the Azazel stuff was like 2 seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think, I don't know that I would say that like Lillith specifically lasts a super long time, but I feel like the
aftermath of what she's doing.
The aftermath of what she does is what carries the show forward.
Okay. So all the
consequences.
Because my prediction, I'm assuming she does open them and free Lucifer. So I'm guessing like that's the bit that carries on. Because otherwise they would be setting this up for like, then they're not gonna just stop the apocalypse, are they? Because it's
because where's the story?
Exactly.
I've already kind of done
this
that
with the show.
Yeah.
And they're not very good at stopping her opening the seals either. So
no, they're in fact terrible at that. Like, sometimes they break the seals themselves. Like, guys, come on. Whose team are you on?
They're practically helping her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's more to this Anna than meets the eye. Like, she does actually know, but everyone, like, in the normal world that doesn't know about all the supernatural stuff, thinks she's crazy, which is sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've now got this new information that's why it's impossible for them to work out what she's going to be going after next, which seal, because there's loads she could be going for.
Yeah. So it does a really good job of setting up a clock, like a ticking clock, for us as an audience to go, fuck. Yeah. And then you also have Castiel and the Angels adding to that, being like, everything is a disaster, everything is taking us so close to the end and the actual fucking apocalypse, like, we have to do these extreme measures to stop it. And then we have a new who is the monster, who is the bad guy kind of situation then, because before we're like supposed to be, well, we still kind of are supposed to be questioning Sam, like, is Sam doing good, is Sam being pulled over to the dark side? And then when the actual angels are like, we're just going to kill this young woman because she's now a threat, you have to go, are you the good guys?
Or are they the bad guys?
Yeah.
I also had a fun fact about Anna's name, actually. This was from IMDb. So Anna's last name is Milton, and that is an allusion to John Milton, who wrote Paradise Lost, which is the story of Adam and Eve, Lucifer's fall, and the battle between heaven and hell. So that kind of links to the show, so that's cool.
That is cool. I like it.
Yeah. So a little bit later, after the doctor's gone, an attendant comes in to give Anna her meds, but we soon realise that he's possessed by a demon. He then locks the door and she uses her mind to move a chest of drawers across the room and pin him against the door. And then she runs out and escapes. And I was like, wait, is she a fire baby?
Fire baby!
Because she moved the dress or whatever on her with her mind.
Yeah. It was a very Sam-like sort of thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think they're setting up like there's something to Anna that we're not sure yet.
It's cool though, because she's kind of like this Slayer / Sarah Connor character.
Yeah.
And you really want to like believe in her and
Yeah.
immediately take her side from the beginning. The actress who plays her is really talented. She's very small and like waif-like, isn't she? And she has these really big eyes. So she looks
Yeah.
really vulnerable, but she also acts tough really well, which is just a great characteristic. It's a good combination that I think you see in actresses like Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it's one of the reasons why her portrayal of Buffy is so kick-ass, because she also has those qualities. So I
Yeah.
feel like she has a Buffy-esque quality to her, this character. And so she's immediately likable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like her.
So then we cut to the inside of a bar, and Sam is apparently drunk. And when I say apparently drunk, I mean like shit-faced drunk, y'all. And he's playing pool. And we very quickly caught on that he's like hustling this dude.
Well, I was not. I'm ashamed to admit it took me a while to realize what was happening here.
Oh, Laura,
it wasn't
so
until
innocent.
It wasn't until he like actually did the break, and I was like, it was a scam.
Yeah, it's a con. So Sam's like, Brian, come on, man, just one more. Just give me a chance to win it back. So he's obviously been playing super drunk, losing money to this guy, smaller amounts, so that he can sucker him into being like, yeah, I'm gonna totally take advantage of this drunk dude and bet a lot more. And Brian's like, it's your cash. So Dean comes up and he's like, excuse me, my brother's a little sauce to be making bets. And Brian's like, he assisted. Because this dude is like, whatever, he's a grown man. He can make his own mistakes. And Dean's like, yeah, but you've already taken, what, 2 bills off of him? I'm just saying. And Sam's like, hey, shut up, Dean. I'm fine. And Dean's like, no, you're not fine. You're drunk. So we're supposed to be lulled into thinking like it's an argument initially. And then be like,
Yeah.
oh, he's getting hustled. Right? Sam's like, let's make it 500. And Dean's like, 500? And he's like, his tone is like, bitch, you are so killing me right now. Like, you can't be doing this. And Brian's like, sure. Sam puts his money down on the pool table. Brian is like, 500, your break. And this man is thinking, I am so going to spend this money and you can tell that he has plans, right? Like, he knows exactly where he's going to spend it. So Brian's looking down and Sam raises his eyebrows at Dean and he's completely sober. And Dean raises his eyebrows at Sam. Sam breaks and he sinks several balls. And it's like perfect. It's like this perfect break, but then he gets distracted because he sees Ruby and he suddenly says, keep the money, and walks away. And Dean is having an aneurysm in the background. Keep the money? What?
He's
So
like, no.
after like a beat, Dean follows Sam and Sam's like, hey. And Dean's like, well, you got a lot of nerve showing up anywhere near me. And Ruby's like, I just have some info, then I'm gone. And Sam's like, what is it? And Ruby says, I'm hearing a few whispers. And Dean says, ooh, great demon whispers. That's reliable. And Ruby says, a girl named Anna Milton escaped from a locked ward yesterday. The demons seem pretty keen on finding her. Apparently there's some real heavy hitters turned out for the Easter egg hunt. I was like, what a weird line, honestly. Sarah.
Yeah, I thought that
weird,
as well.
Weird choice. Anyway, Sam says, why? Who is she? Ruby says, no idea. And Ruby says, but I'm thinking she's important because the order is to capture her alive. I just figured that whatever the deal is, you might want to come and find this girl before the demons do. Sam says, look, maybe we should check it out. Because he obviously immediately believes everything that Ruby's saying. And Dean's like, actually, we're working a case, but thanks. Like, Dean is like the mean girl in high school. He's like, you can't sit with us. It's so funny. And Ruby's like, what
Sam's
case?
willing to just drop everything for Ruby. And Dean's like, no.
Yeah. Dean's like, we've got leads. Big leads. And Ruby's like, oh, sounds dangerous. Because she's like, yeah, you're full of shit. And Dean's like, yeah, well, it sure ain't goose chasing after some chick who, for all we know, doesn't even exist just because you say she's important. And Ruby's like, I'm just delivering the news. You can do whatever you want with it. As far as I'm concerned, I told you, I'm done. And Sam's like, wait. The hospital Anna escaped from has got a name? So you're just like, Sam is like eating out of the palm of her hand.
Yeah.
Right? This boy is hooked, okay? And then we cut to the Impala. It's nighttime. They're driving. And Sam's calling somebody on the phone. And then he's asking for a copy of a missing persons report. He hangs up. and he says that Anna Milton is definitely a real person. And Dean's like, well, it doesn't mean the case is real. Like, Dean's in a Dean mood, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, this is a 3-day drive. I don't want to do it. And Sam's like, we have driven further for less, Dean. Dean's like shaking his head. He's like, you got something to say it. And Dean says, oh, I'm saying it. This sucks. And Sam's like, you're not pissed we're going after the girl. You're pissed Ruby threw us the tip. And Dean's like, right, because as far as you're concerned, the hell bitch is practically family. Yeah, boy, something major must have happened while I was downstairs. Because I come back and you're BFF with a demon. Yeah, giggity giggity. Sam says, I told you, Dean, she's helping me go after Lillith. And Dean's like, well, thanks for the thumbnail. Real vivid. You want to fill in a little detail? And he's like, sure, Dean, let's trade stories. You first. How is hell? Don't spare her the details. And like Dean's
that
like
shuts him up.
Yeah, Dean gives him a look that's like, fuck you. Just starts driving, like clearly starts driving for the hospital because he has no comeback to that. He was put in his place.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we cut to 6 months earlier, right? And Sam is burying he's burying a box at a crossroad to summon the crossroad demon, and he's super drunk. And he's screaming, come on, where the hell are you?
Enjoy. We get a demon Ken.
We do get a demon Ken.
Because you keep calling all the other ones Demon Barbie. We got a demon Ken.
You know, he just wants patriarchy and ponies, you know? All he wants. So he says, I was wondering whether to come or not. I mean, you shot one of my coworkers. Don't take this the wrong way, Sam, but you don't look so hot, buddy. I guess burying your brother didn't agree with you. And Sam is like,
facts.
Well. And the crossroad demon says, well, let's see that special little knife of yours first. So Sam takes the knife out and slams it down on an outdoor table. And this kind of lulls this demon into a false sense of security, which is hilarious to me later. Right? Because Sam has long arms. Have you seen the size of Sam? And you're just like, yeah, it's on the table. That's fine. Dumbass. So Sam says there's no devil's traps and he's not there to play games. So the crossroad demon is like, this part's hilarious. Because he says, well, let me guess, you want to make a deal. And round the Winchesters go. I'm sorry, Sammy, that's not going to happen. So Sam proceeds to grab the knife, which was next to him on the table, and then stab this demon in the hand. And he says, I don't want 10 years. I don't want 1 year. I don't want candy. I want to trade places with Dean. And you're like, oh, you're also like, Sam, you're really drunk. But you're like, oh, that's so beautiful. He loves his brother. And the crossroad demon is like, fuck you. And Sam's screaming, just take me. It's a fair trade. And the crossroads demon is like, no.
We don't want you, Sam. We don't want you.
Sam says, why not? Lillith wants me dead. Just let Dean go. She can have me. And then he says, don't you understand, Sam? It's not about your soul. Dean's in hell right where we want him. We've got everything exactly the way we want it. You want to kill me? Go ahead. I've made my peace with the Lord. But he says, my Lord.
This is interesting because it means, so they wanted Dean dead, but they need Sam alive.
They need Sam alive, dead. And they need Dean in hell specifically, and then they don't snatch him.
They don't just want, like, Sam thinks that Lillith wants him dead, but I don't think she doesn't want him dead. She wants him alive. They need him for something.
Him alive. Yeah. But it's just, this is an interesting, because we go kind of chasing our tails a little bit with the storyline, because it's like, she wants you dead. She can't hurt you suddenly for no reason. You're immune magically. Woo! But then you're not immune to these other demon powers. But then you are to that. It's just, we just keep going round and round the houses with it. But like, the overarching tale, now that they know what they're actually writing, is that we want Sam above ground and tortured.
And Dean out of the way.
Exactly.
So he can't, like, help Sam.
Exactly.
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? The plot is thickening like a fine soup.
So yes, then we flash back to the car, don't we? And they're just driving in silence because they don't want to tell the other one what happened when Dean was in hell. They're just...
Yeah.
It's awkward.
So
then we cut to the hospital and Sam and Dean are questioning the doctor about what happened. And apparently the attendant has a concussion and doesn't even remember going into Anna's room. Yeah, because he was possessed.
A demon did it.
And the doctor says Anna must have planned it. And then Sam says that she mentioned the doctor mentioned that Anna's illness was recent. And the doctor says that 2 months ago, she was well adjusted and happy. She was at college. She had lots of friends. And Dean says, so she just flipped. And then the doctor says, that's what happens with schizophrenia. She was overtaken by delusions within weeks. And Sam asks, what delusions? And the doctor says she thought demons were everywhere and hands him Anna's sketchbook. And the sketchbook has drawings of like a church and stained glass windows in it. The doctor says it's not uncommon for our patients to believe that monsters are real. And Dean's like, well, that's just batty.
It's the way he says that line too.
He knows they're real.
Yeah, he knows they're real. And he's like, well, that's crazy. But he says it in a way where he's like, oh, she's onto something.
Yeah. And then Sam flips to a page of the sketchbook that says raising of the witnesses on it with a symbol and a creepy drawing. And Sam's eyes widen in shock and Dean looks at him because obviously he's like, oh, hang on a minute, this is true. The next page says Sam Hain. Sowie. The next seal is broken, and another picture, and this time of a town with jack-o'-lanterns outside doors and a man. So that's from, was it last episode?
Yeah.
Or the episode before that?
Very recent.
Yeah, anyway.
Very recent.
A few episodes ago.
Yeah.
And then the doctor says that Anna's father is a church deacon, and that's probably why her paranoia took on religious overtones. She says Anna was convinced that the devil was about to rise up and end the world, and she says she hopes they find her because it's dangerous for her to be out there. And so, so then obviously Sam and Dean are now like, well, hang on a minute. She's onto something here.
They're like suspicious.
Yeah.
Where's
so they're like, maybe we should find her.
Yeah. For
so
sure.
they go to Anna's parents' house and knock, but there's no answer, even though both cars are in the driveway. So they break in and then they find them both dead inside. Sam finds sulfur dust on the ground next to them.
I died. Laura, I cannot handle the demon dust.
It's
not even the good demon dust. It's the shit yellow powder where they're like, it's sulfur.
The snail trail of sulfur.
Just why, Sarah
We haven't had that for a while, have we? The little snail trails of sulfur.
The way that my whole face is just pushing into my microphone in utter despair right now. Like, I can't. Okay.
So they realize that that Ruby must have been right because demons have obviously come to kill her parents. They must want Anna and they're not messing around. Dean wonders where Anna might be and says, all right, so I'm Girl Interrupted. I used to love that film, by the way.
I love that movie.
All right, so I'm Girl Interrupted and I know the score of the apocalypse. Just busted out of the nut box. Hasn't aged well. Possibly using superpowers, by the way, because she might also be a fire baby. Yeah. Where do I go? And then Sam notices a photograph with Anna and her parents outside their church, and he sees that it's the same window that Anna's been drawing in the sketchbook. So they decide she's probably at the church. Actually,
Sam figures it out in a very classic Sam move, because he says, if you were religious, scared, and had demons on your ass, where would you go to feel safe? And then we cut to the church. And I was like, ooh, smooth. I like it. I like it a lot. Sam is smart. Smart Sam is smart. Stanford Sam. So we cut to the church. The Impala is parked in front of the church. And through a window, we see two figures going upstairs. And then we cut into the church's attic. And Sam and Dean enter the attic with their guns drawn. So Sam says, Dean. And he points with his gun towards this person hiding. And then he says, Anna. And then they end up putting their guns away because they're pretty sure it's her. And they say, we're not going to hurt you. We're here to help. My name is Sam. This is my brother, Dean. And she comes out and she says, Sam? Not Sam Winchester. And he's like, yeah. And she says, and you're Dean? The Dean. And I was like, that's right, girl. The Dean. Not a Dean. The Dean. And Dean says, well, yeah, the Dean, I guess.
He's like, yeah, I'm the Dean.
Yep, 100% on brand. Okay. Anna says, it's really you. Oh my God, the angels talk about you. You were in hell, but Castiel pulled you out. And some of them think you can help save us. And some of them don't like you at all. And she looks at Sam. And she's like, they talk about you all the time lately. I feel like I know you. And Dean's like, so you talk to angels? And Anna's like, oh, no, wait. They probably don't even know I exist. I'll just kind of overhear them. And Sam's like, you overhear them? And Anna says, yeah, they talk. And sometimes I just hear them in my head. And Dean's like right now? And Anna says, not right this second, but a lot. And I can't shut them out. There are so many of them. And Dean's like, so they lock you up with a case of the crazies when really you were just tuning into Angel Radio? And Anna says, yes, thank you. Because she's like, oh my God, vindicated. Finally, someone understands.
Yeah. Also, I found something on IMDb that says that this is the first episode to mention angel radio, so I'm guessing that becomes a thing.
It's a cool term.
Yeah.
For sure. So Sam asks when the voices started, and she says September 18th. And Dean says the day I got out of hell. And Anna says, first words I hear clear as a bell, Dean Winchester is saved. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, isn't it? There are some fan theories that Castiel was so elated that he basically screamed to the cosmos that Dean Winchester was saved and his mission was successful.
I can't imagine at this moment Castiel being elated because he just looks like he needs to tell his face.
Yeah.
He has the biggest case of resting bitch face. Or he just has no emotion.
Yeah.
At the moment.
So Dean says, what do you think? And Sam says, it's above my pay grade, man. And Dean says, well, at least we know why the demons want you so bad. They get a hold of you. They can hear everything the other side's cooking. You're 1-900 angel. And Anna says,
but I had a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is this, as an English person, is this like 0800 numbers here? Like 1-900?
So it's like you would dial that number to get information. Every single thing that you want to know, you would get from them.
Oh, okay. So maybe not quite, because 0800 numbers here are like the free numbers that usually they're free to call when you used to have to pay for phone calls.
Yeah.
But most kind of businesses or government things would have 0800 numbers. Okay.
So she says that she didn't go home because she was afraid, and do they know if her parents are okay? And Ruby runs in and right at this moment and says, you got the girl, good, let's go. And Anna's screaming, her face, because she can see Ruby's demon face.
Yeah.
And Sam says, it's okay, she's here to help. And Dean says, yeah, don't be so sure. And Ruby says, we have to hurry. And Dean says, why? Because again, he's stubborn. And he's like, Ruby is the enemy. And Ruby says, because demons are coming big timer. We can fight later, Dean. And Dean says, well, that's pretty convenient, showing up right when we find the girl with some bigwig on your tail.
Yes, it is convenient.
And she says, I didn't bring him here, you did. And Dean's like, what? And Ruby says, he followed you from the girl's house. We got to go now. And Sam says, Dean? And Sam points at the statue that's bleeding from the eyes. It's like a Virgin Mary statue.
Yeah.
And it is creepy as fuck. And then Ruby just says, it's too late. He's here. And that's so ominous.
Yeah.
So Sam tries to grab Anna and hide her in a closet. And he tells her to stay there and don't move. And then he takes out a flask of holy water. And Ruby says, no, Sam, you got to pull him right away. And Dean says, whoa, hold on a sec. And Ruby says, now's not the time to bellyache about Sam going dark side. He does his thing. He exorcises that demon or we die. Sam puts the flask away again. The demon enters and Sam tries to exorcise him, but it doesn't work. Alistair just says, that tickles. You don't have the juice to take me on, Sam. And then he throws Sam downstairs.
He like does a really sarcastic cough when he does. He's like,
he does. He's like, I have the black lung, Pa.
Oh, that tickles.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, never mind. I love the sassy demons in Supernatural. They are the best.
Yeah.
If your demons don't have sass, what are you even doing?
This one's scary though. He is actually pretty scary because like nothing can kill him. The knife doesn't work on him either. Sam can't exercise him.
Yeah. So Dean attacks him with the knife, but he wins the fight. And then he says, hello again, Dean. And you're like, oh shit, son.
He knows him.
Yep. So Anna screams when Ruby pulls her out of the closet. And Alistair saying, come on, Dean, don't you recognize me? Or I forgot, I'm wearing a pediatrician. And that line was so funny.
That was really creepy as well, though.
Yeah. It was funny and also terrifying.
Yeah.
So he says, but we were so close in hell. And then Dean takes a look at him and says, Alistair. You're like, hidden history. Oh, no.
Who's Alistair?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So Sam stabs Alistair with the demon knife, barely misses the heart, and basically hits him more in the shoulder. And he says, you're going to have to try a whole lot harder than that, son. And the way he does it really reminds me of Granddaddy Campbell. And I thought that was a really interesting choice because he's kind of giving like Azazel vibes a little bit when he says that line. It is very creepy.
Yeah, and the sassiness.
And the sassiness, yeah, for sure. So Sam grabs Dean and together they leap through that huge stained glass window at the top of the church as Alistair's pulling the knife out, because they would have been fucked, right? They just burst through and run.
But now they've lost the knife.
Now they have lost the knife.
I had a question for you, actually, for a little bit earlier. You know, when Alistair first comes in and like grabs Sam, do you know how they filmed that? Like, was he on like some sort of, because it was like he kind of floated but his arms were spinning like Sam's were.
Yeah.
And then he went down the stairs. I wondered if he was like on a track or something.
I assume that was filmed on a track, and I assume that he was on a wire.
Yeah, because that was kind of cool. I liked that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what happened.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they've jumped through this huge window, and then the demon just stares at them from the window holding the knife. And I was just like, oh no, now they've lost the knife. And also I had a question. I was like, did they know that Ruby had already rescued Anna and taken her out of there? Or did they just leave her behind?
I feel like Sam knew.
Yeah, they must have known.
That's my assumption.
Also, I think this stunt was them, because I kept pausing it, and all the way down I could see their faces. So I was like,
I'm pretty sure they did it too, because I did the same thing. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is our boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they used like the fake glass this time.
I feel like they only did that the one time, because like he scarred
Poor Jensen. Yeah.
For life. Poor Jensen, yeah. So tell us about the motel room, Laura. What's going on?
Well, you know, in the episode where Dean kept dying.
Was the heat of the moment. Mystery Spot.
Yeah, in Mystery Spot, where in the like the flashback bit, or the bit where Dean's dead and Sam's like pulling a bullet out and sewing himself up.
Yeah.
And that was hot, wasn't it? This one wasn't as hot, I didn't think.
This one was
just disgusting.
This one was supposed to be gory and scary, because we're supposed to see them as all wounded and vulnerable, and Alistair is the new big bad scary thing. So like it is grosser, and it's supposed to be. I also still found it like kind of hot, because manly brutality and whatnot.
I didn't like the bit though where, because so Sam's stitching up his like a cut on his arm, and Dean's spitting blood into the sink, and then they're kind of like, who was that demon? And I was like, yeah, Dean, who was it? Because you obviously know. And Dean's dislocated shoulder, that bit was disgusting when Sam like puts it back. I was like, I don't know, don't like it.
That was less bad for me because of my dislocation. I was like, it's fine.
I did think of you at the time, actually.
But the sewing, that got me, because there was less nudity, which made it less hot, which made me focus a lot more on like the needle and the blood. And if you guys know me, you know I don't like the needles. I'm scared of the needles the way that Laura's scared of the eyeballs. And that was very hard for me. I did not live, laugh, love that scene.
No.
And Dean also is like, are you almost done? And Sam's like, I'm going as fast as I can. And I kind of like the brother banter of it all. And Dean's like, good, because I've got a dislocated shoulder over here. He's just like, he's petty. And it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do know, because they're in this scene, they're talking about Sam is saying she took Anna to keep her safe. And Dean's like, well, then why hasn't she called to tell us where she is? And Sam says, because that demon is probably watching us right now, waiting to follow us back to Anna again. That's why he let us go.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, you call this letting us go? And he gestures to the general fuckery of the state that they are in. And they're like borderline dead and fucked up. And Sam's like, yeah, I do. Like, killing us would have been no problem to that thing. That's why for now, we just got to lay low and wait for Ruby to contact us. And Dean's like, wait, how is she going to do that? And then he's like, why do you trust her so much? And Sam's like, I told you.
He loves her.
He loves her so much.
He wants to hug her. He wants to kiss her. He wants to marry her. And he will marry her.
Yeah, true. So Dean says, you got to do better than that. Hey, I'm not trying to pick a fight here. I mean, I really want to understand, but I need to know more. I mean, I deserve to know more. And then Sam's like, because she saved my life. And he says it all dramatically. And then we get this 6 months earlier flashback.
Yeah.
And Sam's drunk. This is the part that I think Laura doesn't love.
Nah. Also, he's like drink driving at one point. I'm like, Sam.
He is, yeah. That's not cool. Don't drink and drive, kids. People die.
No. So, well, it's a flashback, and it's Ruby, but in a different body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because at the end of the season 3, when Dean dies, Ruby dies as well, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So she's obviously back, and she's with this other guy, and they're like beating Sam up. But then she turns on the other demon to save Sam. And then Sam and Ruby are in the car, and Sam kind of gets on to her about like what body she's using and how he should get out of her because it's not fair to the person that she's possessing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because he asks her who she's possessing, and she's like, "You haven't asked me that before." And then she says, "Some secretary."
Yeah.
That made me think, like the actress that has to say those lines. Is she like, hang on a minute, some secretary?
Some secretary. Yes.
It's a bit
probably
insulting for herself. And then we see her finding her current body.
Oh, so but wait, because Sam, there's a very important line here. Sam says, and he's really hot when he says this too. This is a thirst trap. He says, "Let her go." And Ruby's all like cajoling. She says, "Sam," and he says, "Or I'll send you right back to hell." And she leaves. Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting because she at this point thinks that he can send her back to hell on his own with her knowing that it's coming.
What like being able to exercise her?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though she hasn't told him how to do that yet.
It's interesting. It's interesting because like we know that he can because we have the backstory because we've seen him do it in the future, but it makes me think that he'd already started trying to do it before while Dean was dead.
Yeah. Or just the fact that she would be like, oh, he'll work it out eventually because he was kind of all he needed to do was like focus on his powers and he'd be able to try and control them, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So, and he's like, he hasn't really got any other options now.
Yeah, because this entire time, Sam's energy has been focused on not using the powers, right? Keeping them away.
Because Dean didn't want him to.
Now we're starting to ask ourselves, okay, but if he wants to use them, what can he do? Right? And so that puts an interesting really twist on things, right?
Yeah, and that makes me think he's actually gonna be really powerful at some point. Like the powers that we've seen so far, like exercising people. Yeah, that's probably not all he's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
I did like the little backstory of her, like the current Ruby body, the Jen's character,
Jen Ruby,
because Sam doesn't want her to just be possessing someone. She basically finds a Jane Doe who's in a coma and has just died, and she goes into that body, and it's really funny because she's like, she says something about who do I have to kill to get some chicken or something? Does she, or fries or something?
Fries, because remember Ruby loves fries, right? Fries are her everything.
Yeah, that was funny. But those doctors must have been like, "What? How did she then get out of the hospital without them being like, hang on, this woman's just come to life again?"
Well, I guess because you can't keep someone there against her will, so she could have just checked herself out.
Yeah,
against doctor's orders.
Yeah. But when she goes to Sam, it was really funny because she says this body is 100% socially conscious. I recycled. Al Gore would be proud.
Yeah, I love that part where she says I recycled, and then she slams the death certificate towards him. She brought her death certificate. She's like, here, she was dead, vacant, empty. Reuse, recycle.
That was funny.
Like the fact that she's smoking hot has nothing to do with it. Also, just saying, like that was definitely part of her plan. So Sam's like all shook. He goes, "You grabbed a coma patient?" And she says, "You didn't want me to take a body with someone in it, and I made sure the spirit was gone. Apartment was empty. You happy?" I love that part.
That was good. Yeah. And then, so basically Ruby says she can help Sam get Lillith by teaching him how to use his powers, and she expects him to protest, but he's like, "I'm ready, let's go." And then we cut back to like Dean. So this is now Sam telling Dean what happened. And Dean says, "Well, what does she teach you?" And Sam says, "The first thing I learned is I'm a crappy student." And then we flash back to him trying his powers on a demon.
Yeah.
Who's being held in a devil's trap, like tied to a chair, like we've seen before. And he can't quite get it to go right. And the demon keeps laughing at him. And Ruby kills him and says, "Not funny." He's like, "Don't laugh at my boyfriend."
It really is, though. It's so funny. It's just like there's a little bit like performance anxiety kind of a situation. It's definitely a metaphor for that. And she's like, "How dare you?" And then she stabs him to death and sends him to hell in one go. And I just thought that's hilarious. And she's like, "Just give it time, Sam. It'll get better."
Happens to everyone, Sam.
Happens to everyone. And Sam says, "What? I need more practice." That just took me out, guys. It took me out.
But yeah, then basically they have sexy times.
Bow chicka wow wow.
And it's really funny because they cut back to the president and Dean is like, Sam, too much information. And he's really funny because Sam's like, I told you I was coming clean. And Dean says, yeah, well, now I feel dirty.
That is probably my favorite line from the episode.
It's so funny. I had a fun fact here as well. So,
oh yeah,
this is from IMDb, but basically there was tea on the set. So
tea.
It says Jared Padalecki and Genevieve had not officially started dating when this episode was filmed, but executive producer Robert Singer joked at a convention that when the team reviewed the footage from the sex scene, they all remarked that something must have been going on because it was too hot, just too hot. And Jared and Jen were married a few years later.
Yeah.
So they were obviously gossiping about them, being like, oh, there must be something going on here.
Well, I know from... Yeah, 100%.
Too much chemistry.
I know from watching like con footage that Jensen was basically like, and Jen basically got this 6'4" puppy following her around from like day one. And she would be sitting on set when it wasn't her turn and she'd be like reading a book because she likes literature. And Jared would be sitting at her feet like an actual dog being like, what you reading? Just everywhere all the time. What are you doing?
Like, leave me alone and read him.
Yeah. And Jensen was like, this man is gone. There is no hope. Hope is gone.
Aww, that's cute.
He's done. He's cooked. It is really cute. I love it so much.
Yeah. It's really fun, like obviously because I know that they're married and they've been married for a long time. So seeing how like they obviously met on the set. So seeing how these characters interact is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I also love it whenever people are like, what's your favorite episode? What's your favorite season? And Jared's always like, the one where I met my wife. It's extremely
He's so sweet. Yeah. But this is really funny because Dean is just like, can you not tell me all the details? He's like, skip the nudity, please.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. And so Sam skips that bit and explains that they heard Lillith was in town, and so they went after her. And then there's another flashback, and Ruby is basically calling out Sam for, she calls it a suicide mission. So she thinks that Sam is just wanting to go after Lillith before he's ready, because then he doesn't have to live without his brother.
Yeah. So Ruby says, you want to die fighting Lillith. And Sam says, that's stupid. And she says, no, it's true. Because if you kill her and you survive this, you have to go on without your brother. This isn't what Dean would have wanted. This isn't what he died for. So she keeps trying to stop him getting to the door. And he says, get out of my way. And she says, no, Sam, this is suicide. And then Sam puts Ruby off to one side with a knife on her throat and walks out through the door. Basically, like, he grabs her and threatens her, like, if you don't let me go, I will kill you right now. And it's super dark. And it's an interesting dynamic because obviously that scene is designed to make us as an audience sympathize with Ruby, because we don't want precious Sammy to go after Lillith and get killed. Like, we don't want him out on a suicide mission. That's not what we want for him. So they're continually putting us in this pocket where the fans are on the same side as Ruby. So you can see they're really making an effort to make Jen's Ruby a lot more likable and like a lot more seductive in many ways, I would argue, too.
So that the fans don't make them get rid of her.
Yeah. So we then cut to 5 months earlier, and it's a suburban house, and Sam sees a little girl in the house who's sitting with this table full of cakes and candy. And then we cut to the interior during the day. Sam snuck into the house with a knife ready to kill Lillith, and she says, please, I want to go home. And we realize that it's not Lillith, it's a little girl. 2 demons simultaneously attack Sam from behind, and he loses the knife in the fight. the demon says Lilith sends her regrets she couldn't make it. And Ruby takes the knife from the floor and starts killing the demon. So she's just appeared from nowhere because she's turned up to save him again. And she's screaming, take the girl and run. The demon beats Ruby and she loses the knife. The demon then says, Ruby, you're in so much trouble. When we get you down to the basement, the things we're going to do to you. But then Sam comes back for his girl and exercises the demon with his mind. And it's all romantic. And Ruby's like, Sam. And Sam's like, I'm okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Also, I don't want to ruin the moment here, but I'm a Sam girl. Yeah, I love him. But his face when he uses his powers is not hot. He looks constipated. I'm sorry. I'm just, it's not hot.
I mean, it's clearly a face of struggle.
Yeah, struggling to go to the toilet.
Oh my days. Okay. Alrighty. Well, guys, if you agree with Laura and you think that he looks constipated, drop a poop emoji on this episode's comments.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam.
The things that get said on this podcast, I swear. We're never getting any of the cast or crew on this podcast. We chat too much shit.
I'm just saying what I see.
Okay, so Sam is back in the present now talking to Dean in the motel room. And he says, Ruby came back for me. Whatever you have to say, she saved me. More than that, she got through to me. What she said to me, it's what you would have said. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And then a maid knocks and says, housekeeping. And Dean says, not now. And the maid says, sir, I've got clean towels. And Dean, who's like, I have bled through a lot of this towel right now. And so Sam is like, okay, fine. Opens the door and the maid comes in. And he's like, couldn't you just leave them at the door? And then the maid hands him this piece of paper and says, I'm at this address. And Sam says, I'm sorry, what? And she says, go now, go through the bathroom window. Don't stop. Don't take your car. Don't pass go. There are demons in the hallway and in the parking lot. And Sam says, Ruby? And she says, okay, yes. So I'm possessing this maid for a hot minute. Sue me.
I love her.
Yeah. And Sam says, what about? And the maid says, coma girl, slowly rotting on the floor back at the cabin with Anna. So I've got to hurry back. See her when you get there. Go. And that was so funny.
Yeah. I loved that bit. That maid was good.
She was great.
Also, there was, just to go back just a tiny bit, there was a bit where, when Sam is saying that Ruby saved him and stuff, do you think Dean, because later on Dean does say, he kind of says thank you to Ruby in his own way.
Yeah.
But I thought I saw a little flicker on his face of that he still thinks she's being manipulative by saying to Sam what Dean would have said.
Yeah.
There was a little thing on his face. And I thought, I don't know if he does completely trust her still.
Yeah. I kind of think that what he's thinking is that her hooks are so deep into Sam that the only way to not alienate Sam is to sort of go along with it.
Yeah. So they leave and go to find Ruby and Anna at the cabin. They ask Anna if she's okay, and she says yes, because Ruby's not like the other demons and saved her.
She's not like other girls.
And Dean says, yeah, I hear she does that. And then we have this really awkward but funny conversation where Dean's trying to say thank you. Because he's like, I guess and Ruby's like, what? And Dean says, I guess I owe you for Sam. And I just want to, and Ruby's like, don't strain yourself. And Dean says, okay, then is the moment over? Good, because that was awkward.
Yeah.
And Sam is smiling. He's so proud of Dean for almost thanking her.
Yeah. Barely getting the words out. He's like, you're making progress. Yeah.
So Anna asks Sam if it's okay if she makes a quick call to her parents to tell them that she's okay, and then he has to tell her that they're dead, basically. Poor Anna.
Yeah.
And then she starts crying, but then she stops and is looking really scared and says they're coming. And this was very they're here from Poltergeist.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the lights in the cabin flicker on and off. Dean says they need to get Anna in the back room. Then Sam and Ruby grab weapons, and Ruby asks where the knife is. And I was like, awkward, because they lost it, and she's not happy with them. And
she's
Dean totally throws Sam under the bus. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, don't look at me. And Sam's like, oh, thanks a lot. And then Ruby's like, great, impeccable timing, guys, really. and then they hear a noise outside and they stop arguing and they all stand ready for attack. And this is really cool. They kind of looks like the Scoobies in Buffy, or like
They
superheroes or
do.
something.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very
I
cool
liked
shot.
that bit.
Yeah.
And then the door smashes open, there's a breeze, and then Castiel and Uriel walk in.
Mm-hmm. And Dean says, "Please tell me you're here to help. We've been having demon issues all day." And Uriel says, "Well, I can see that. You want to explain why you have that stain in the room?" Because he's looking at Ruby.
Oh yeah, and Ruby's eyes have done the demon black thing, haven't they?
But she does it in a fear response, which I thought was actually really clever. So she sees them and is terrified, and her eyes flash back in complete fear. And I was like, "That's genius."
Yeah.
Cass says, "We're here for Anna," and Dean says, "Here for her, like here for her." And Uriel says, "Stop talking, give her to us." And Sam says, "Are you going to help her?" And Castiel says, "No, she has to die." And then there's this dramatic cut to black, and it says, "To be continued." And I was like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah, but when Castiel says that, Sam's face is instantly like, "No, you're not," and it's like the hot protector mode has been activated.
Oh yeah, Sam's like, "You're gonna have to go through me." Yeah, that is hot.
But yeah, we get the to be continued, and I was like, "Oh no, it's a two-parter."
I have such a love-hate relationship with their love of two-parters. Because, like, is it really good and super dramatic? Yes. Is it also extremely annoying? Also, yes.
Yeah.
It's both, for sure.
But sometimes they do it and it's not actually a two-parter. But I think but this one is. Yeah. But yeah, so what do we know so far, and what do you think is going to happen next episode then?
So far we know that Anna is about to be murdered by some angels. So it seems pretty unangelic to me.
And the angels, like, are the angels the good guys or the bad guys?
Questioning everything, aren't we?
Uriel's definitely a bad guy, I feel.
Uriel's a dick.
Yeah. I like how Dean is kind of accepting Ruby for at least a little bit, or at least on the surface. Yeah. And I did like how they kind of teamed up the three of them together, like as a united front. I liked that.
Yep, me too.
So I hope that continues for a bit.
I love it when they jump through the window together in unison, because they're doing things in unison.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool stunt.
Yeah, and there's obviously more to Anna because it's all centered around her at the moment.
Yeah.
And like the angels want her dead as well. So is it like, I suppose because she can hear them, they don't want the demons to have her?
Yeah, so it's like earlier it was kind of like they hung the lantern a little bit with it. Well, no, it was like the explainer. You remember that episode in Hollywood Babylon? Got to throw in an explainer. Where they're like, "Oh, well, she's a huge risk because if the demons get a hold of her, they'll know everything that we're saying."
Yeah, like the angel radio thing.
Really bad, right?
Yeah.
And you can see how strategically, if you were trying to stop the apocalypse, that would be super bad. But there's got to be a better way than we're going to slaughter this innocent woman who happens to be able to hear us.
Yeah. Like, and also she hasn't asked for them to be able to she hasn't asked to be able to hear the angels. They're like tuning into her frequency.
Yeah. So, I don't know. They could change the channel or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Death feels extreme, but it's great because it sets up so much tension and peril and like tenseness. And they're like, because there was so much ease in a way, I think, created when it's revealed that Cass isn't a demon, he's actually an angel. Because you have to find a way to reestablish all of the terror that you had before, because when he first comes on, he's scary. And even Misha thought he was playing a demon, which is why he did the voice in the first place, right? He didn't think he was going to be doing it for that long. So like Cass is supposed to be super scary, and then we have the plot twist of, wow, but he's a good guy. Oh my God, Dean is so important that God told an angel to pull him out of hell. We have all these very cool revelations. Like, and then you have Dean, and the last thing we know about Dean and the angels is like the angels were told from God to do whatever Dean tells you to do.
Yeah.
That's the last piece of information we have. So what I feel like is happening is they're trying to avoid painting themselves into the same corner that they did with Lillith, where they make the bad guy so powerful that they then have to do another weird situation where it's like Sam's suddenly immune for no reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're trying to avoid that. So they have to take us back to a place where it's really, really scary and there's peril and there's stakes. And they're like, well, what do we do? And because it's supernatural, they're like, we're going to make them question if the angels are actually good or not. Because we're always questioning, like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy on Supernatural,
Yeah.
right? So they're like, we're going to give them a moral quandary. And they dropped it down there in this explosion of glitter. They were like, this is the answer. This is the way. The way to
Yeah,
Candy
the angels want to
Mountain.
kill someone. They're not good.
Yeah, so we're now back in this place where we have these very powerful beings who are opposed to Sam and Dean, what they want to do, which is protect an innocent person. And they're going to be like, well, yeah, we've decided we're going to kill her. So it does create a lot of tension and a lot of scares. And then you, as a viewer, are put back in the same position. We're set up to question it because remember our virgin secretary who Dean was like, nobody's sacrificing a virgin on my watch. And they don't kill Nancy, and then everybody dies. And Ruby was like, I told you so, right? All these innocent people died because you were unwilling to kill one virgin. I roll. That's Ruby's attitude, right? So we come back to it, and it's like, here's Anna, and we're in the same position that we were before, which is, will the Winchesters let an innocent person be killed?
No.
They're the good guys, right? So now we have this power dynamic, and then you're like, okay, if they're the good guys, what the fuck is Castiel doing? Like, what is going on in this world? So then we have to wait and see what happens in the next episodes. So overall, I would say this is good writing from Sarah Gamble.
So she's your friend today.
She's my friend. She's my best friend today. Brilliant. Amazing. Show-stopping. Good job, Sarah. Have an Emmy.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see then what happens next week.
Yeah. So, speaking of women who hear voices of angels, the only thing that I can really, because there's no lore in this episode really, so the only thing that I can think of is characters from history, like real people who have also heard the voices of the angels and their impact. So you could call it a reflection, I suppose. So we have Joan of Arc, who heard the voices of angels and was guided to save France during the 100 Years' War. We all know how that ended. I did look into her, and I found out that she was actually there's been debate among scholars, like, was she just a mascot or was she actually a leader of war? And I do tend to side with Jason Porth. He wrote the Rejected Princesses book, which I highly recommend you guys read. And he talks about how she was actually a warlord. She was so effective in her strategy and with her sense in battle that out of the many battles that she fought, the vast majority of them was her turning up to your town and your town going, I surrender. Which is, that's really awesome. So she's known as the Maid of Orleans, the town in France. And actually, in recent years, it's debated whether this girl is actually her descendant or not, but I actually still think this is pretty cool regardless. So there's a girl who believes she is a living descendant of Joan of Arc. And in Orleans, they have had her dressed in the armor and paraded through the street on a horse. In honor of the saint, which I think is very, very cool personally. So either way, a girl with a sword on a war horse riding through France, I can get behind it. You know what I'm saying? I can get behind it for sure. She was an excellent leader. She was so threatening that the church had to band together to take her down, which they did by accusing her of witchcraft and heresy and burning her at the stake, which is a tragedy. Then you also have Harriet Tubman. She was born enslaved, but she got her freedom. And not only did she get her freedom, but she was so successful at going back and freeing other enslaved people that they started to call her Moses, because she wouldn't just lead away one person at a time. She would lead away entire families sometimes.
That's cool.
So she also heard voices. Scholars put this down to, like, there are different diagnoses. Obviously, we'll never really know. But they think that she may have had a combination of narcolepsy, because of beatings that she received as a teenager or a traumatic brain injury. However, she was never wrong. She would just say that she heard guidance, sometimes from God or angels, telling her where slave catchers were, where these bad people were, and telling her which route she should take.
Yeah.
And your girl was never wrong.
That's interesting.
Which I think is amazing. So she saw these as divine visions. She had a strong faith. She also managed to gather like such cool information from her network of people who are still sadly enslaved. So like she didn't just go and leave and get her freedom and be happy in the North. She went back again and again and again and did more and more dangerous missions so that she was able to establish like a spy network, a network of people who are on the inside, who I assume either she was working to get free or who they were making a specific sacrifice to save their families, their loved ones, people around them, to be part of a greater cause, which was to end slavery in the South. Because at this point, we're close to and involved directly in the Civil War, right? The North and the South are fighting each other. And she's actually one of the reasons why slavery gets made illegal, because her acts of heroism and the things that she does, her activities, make a case that this is like unjust and inhumane, which I know is super obvious. But unfortunately, at the time, people needed figureheads to point to and say, this is why this is wrong. And she was, I think, as a leader, certainly one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I knew about her, but I didn't know that she heard voices. That's really interesting.
It is really interesting.
And that they were correct.
And they were right. They were right. Yep. And she actually helped bring down, I think it was like 2 warships as well.
Wow.
Like her ability to strategize, collect information, her bravery is intense. I think she's one of America's greatest heroes.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, do you want to play end of episode games?
Yeah. Well, for villain hot or not, who are the villains? There's like loads of demons in this. All the angels. The angels, the demons.
Yeah, I think kind of both, because Castiel and Uriel are definitely bad guys. And by the end of this episode, you're just like, what the fuck, guys? So I'm going to say Cass is a hot villain, and Ruby's also a hot villain. Although she's more like a sexy, morally gray character in this episode.
Yeah, I don't class Ruby as a villain, not at the moment anyway.
Okay, I'm going to give her sexy, morally gray, right? And Cass is the hot villain for me.
Yeah, I don't know if are there any. Well, the demons that were trying to kill Sam and Ruby. No. The demon who Sam was exercising was laughing at him. No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was any for me.
Yeah, that's fair. What about Cass? Do you think Cass is a hot villain?
Not in this episode, because he was only really at the end and he just stood there kind of like,
we're going to kill them all. Yeah.
Resting bitch face and didn't say anything. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's your episode scare rating?
Oh. I'm going to give this episode a 3.5. Because like really there are scary parts, but overall it's not like it's like psychologically scary more than it is, oh my god, I'm so scared.
Yeah. I gave it a 4.5 because I put it's not really scary. The part that made me flinch the most was Sam popping Dean's shoulder back into place. And then the bit that I thought was quite chilling was they're coming at the end that Anna says.
Oh yeah, that's scary. That part's scary. I actually thought it was pretty scary when they find her parents.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't know that they were dead. Like we obviously thought they could be in trouble, they could be a target, they could have been kidnapped, but you don't know that they're dead. But when they find them dead, like their throats are cut and it's pretty brutal and there's like blood everywhere and it's scary. That's scary. Alistair is also really scary because
he's scary. Yeah,
he's scary. He's witty, but in a way that is like, this is very threatening and very terrifying. he knows Dean from hell and is so powerful that Sam, who's like totally immune to Lilith's powers, is like unable to do anything at all whatsoever. So like,
yeah, he's interesting.
that's
And I want to know how Dean knows him as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like he might have the potential to become a hot villain in the way that Azazel did.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
but
fair.
not at the moment.
No,
In
not so
his
much.
body of a pediatrician.
Wearing a pediatrician. Yeah.
What were your favorite quotes?
Okay. Well, that's just batty. That made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Sam saying, "You want me to use my psychic whatever." And Ruby being like, I know it spooks you. And then Sam's like, "Skip the speech. I'm ready. Let's go." And she's like, "Slow down there, cowboy." That whole exchange was hilarious. Ruby saying not funny and killing the guy. And then, and then it's saying, "Just give it time, Sam. It'll get better." And Sam says, "What? I need more practice." The innuendo is hilarious. And then when Dean's like, "Sam," and Sam's like, "Yeah." And Dean says, "Too much information." And Sam says, "Hey, I told you I was coming clean." And he says, "Yeah, but now I feel dirty." And he says, "Okay, well, brain stabbing imagery aside, so far all you've told me about is a minute." And then he goes off. But it's like, dude, that part is so funny. And then he's like, "Just skip the nudity, please." Which, coming from Dean, is wild. That's like him saying no to donuts. Like, what? I also love when Ruby says, "Okay, yes, so I'm possessing this maid for a hot minute. Sue me."
Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah, that was great.
I think that was my
when
favorite.
she says, "Don't strain yourself," to Dean, that's also really funny.
Mm-hmm.
You're
also now just doing all the quotes.
I am just doing all of them. I also love when she says, "I recycled."
Yeah.
She comes in and she's all reuse, recycle.
Yeah, you said all of mine. So I had Ruby saying, "I'm possessing this maid for a hot minute, sue me." I had Dean saying, "Sam, too much information." I had Ruby saying, "This body is 100% socially conscious, I recycled."
Yeah, I think the "I recycled" line is the best line.
Yeah. What was your best thirst trap?
It's Sam drinking and taking pills in that gray shirt and his angry face. Honestly, it is. It's fucked up, but it's hot. Sue me.
I had the Sam and Ruby sexy times, or just before that, actually, when
that was pretty hot.
When Ruby mentions Dean and he's like, "Hey, no, I don't want to talk about it," and he's getting all upset about it and is all broody. I like that bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good part.
Who's your MVP?
Right. See, I question it because I feel like Ruby obviously has ulterior motives, but Ruby did save Anna.
I had Ruby. I put Ruby.
Yeah.
I originally had a funnier bit. I said the maid possessed by Ruby. It was my MVP. But it is Ruby because she saves and protects Anna and she didn't lose the knife.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ruby.
Yeah, I agree. I had Ruby too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a motor rating.
No, me neither.
Because I don't remember it.
It was unremarkable. We barely saw it.
We'll give it 0.
We give it 0 stars. Would not stay there.
I suppose it was just the one at the end, but I can't remember it.
It was really dark, and I feel like we saw it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, maybe we'll see more of it next episode.
It didn't feel like there was a theme. It didn't feel like there was much going on with it.
So they haven't had a theme for ages. I'm not happy. I want a
maybe
theme.
Maybe they're more subtle. I don't know. We'll have to pay really close attention next time they show us one. And
I like the really cheesy, obvious themes.
They're my favorite too. When you were like, "It's bird feeders," that took me out.
It was. Or the random, like just the theme was blue.
Or bowling.
Oh, the disco one.
The disco one was pretty wild.
The disco one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want bring back the theme motels.
A petition. We're starting it now. It's in the past, but that's fine. We're petitioning the past. Cool. So don't forget to check in with us next week when we drop part 2, because this is a 2-parter. So if you liked this one, be sure to set some kind of reminder so that you're not going to miss it when we drop the next episode. We drop our episodes every single Tuesday, which is streaming anywhere that you get your podcasts, which I feel like you know because you're listening to this podcast now. So good for you. Gold stars. So Laura and I have what we think is a very cool idea for our Halloween episode this year, which is what we would love to do is have you guys write in and tell us your lore. So a little while ago, I did a fun post and it was choose your own adventure supernatural. And one of those responses was you ran into Sam and you had to tell him your local lore. And I got some replies on that, and that was so exciting. So then I posted in our stories, and I was like, so according to the lore, if you're in Sam and Dean in your local town, what is the lore? And you guys were so cool. I learned so much about like where people are, what the scary things are, what episode of Supernatural would have been built around your hometown.
Didn't we have some Australian
we
lore
did.
sent
We
to
had
us? That was cool.
It was from people all over the world. It was so cool. It was insane. We didn't expect that level of response at all. We got so many replies. So then what we thought was, what would be so cool is at Halloween to do like a lore drop episode where our listeners are telling us their lore. And Laura and I can do research, right? So if you say, this is the lore where I live, we go and do all the research like you know me. I love my research, okay? We can do Reddit threads. We can do, if you guys have accounts that you want to share, please do share those too. They can be as short or as long as you want to send us. We're happy with anything. And then we can turn that into a really sick episode for Halloween of like, this is what Sam and Dean would be investigating in our listeners. It's like our own little SPN family thing. And I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Laura and I will definitely come with our own like lore, location lore of like either where we grew up or where we are now, or maybe both. So I would love to contribute to that too from some Florida stuff because some of the stuff where I grew up was so creepy and spooky. And I think it would be very appropriate. But like, we really want to hear from you guys. So tell them the email address, Laura, because I can never remember it.
thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Yep, that one. It's also at the end of every episode too, so you'll get to hear it again.
And it's in the show notes if you want to see it written.
Yeah. So it's written out. It's a clickable link in our show notes, I'm pretty sure too. So you could just like boop. But yeah, we're thrilled for that. We're super, super excited. Please write in. And I can't wait to make that episode. I think it's going to be the most fun that we have.
Yeah. We will need them by the 16th of October in order to like put it all together, do the research and record the episode before Halloween. So
the 16th is the deadline. You can click the link at any time in the show notes. It could be short, it could be long, it could be personal, it could literally just be, it is the Babadook. You know, just whatever you guys want. If you want us to mention your name and your contribution, let us know that. If you want to remain anonymous, let us know that.
I'm really excited. I think it'll be really fun. It seems really personalized to all of our listeners.
100%. I think this is going to be like a giant sleepover party.
Yeah.
So definitely do that. Mark it in your calendars. And I think that's where we end the episode. Should we say goodbye?
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at the Witches of Letters podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.